Hi there everyone, so I'm out of breath and I'm tired, so I'm back on with my Imperial Daleks. What you're seeing here is the shoulder plug I've just put on the top plate, reason why I'm out of breath. And yeah, currently it's sideways, as you can see, because of the way I'm going to be taking a mould. I put octagon wood plates, so when I turn it, it'll stay in line, because if it was round it would just want to roll all over the place. Yeah, so I'm focusing back on with the Imperials when I get money. If you don't know what I'm on about, then it's going to be one of these Daleks, which more or less I already have one, but it's not accurate in the slightest and is really small. And this is the shoulder section. So what I mean by that, the black Dalek out there was an Imperial Dalek, but wasn't accurate in the slightest. Long story short, I shrunk it down, but didn't know how to shrink things properly because there's maths involved. This, on the other hand, is a lot bigger than the original Imperials. The Imperials are about 5'5", so the same height as me. As in the entire build when it's done. Mine will be about 5'7", just to give me a little extra room. The idea was so that I could stand up, but long story short, the Paradigm Dalek that I'm currently on at the minute, even though it's bigger, it's still very narrow, and these Daleks are a lot narrower than the design I've done outside. So at the end of the day, I know fiberglass Daleks, which this will be entirely like I did with Imp 1J, the black Dalek. The only reason why I wanted to stop using the black one is it's because of how small I've made it. It's really cramped and really difficult to operate because of how small it is. Whereas this, and I've gone bigger as well, so I should have plenty of room. This will be a full fiberglass cast. This is just the plug section, basically what that means. I'm rambling, but some people are always new to my channel. A plug basically means in order to get your finished result, you need an original thing to take a mould of. Then say this is the mould, you then apply material inside your mould, and then you pull your mould apart, and then you have your finished item. But in order to create that, you need to start with something. So we call it a plug, where your mould, mine's going to be silicone and fiberglass. As what I did with the Paradigm shoulders, if you saw that, I put silicone around it and then fiberglass halves around it to keep it in place, basically. So this will be the same. This is going to be a lot lighter than the other one because I used so much on that. Basically around on the big Dalek, I couldn't get into these areas here because of how big the gun box was and how short the bands and the top half were. So I basically did the paw mould on the front, and which weighs a lot. This will just be a complete brush on. It might only be 600 quid. I'm thinking 300 for the front, 300 for the back. It's going to have flanges coming off it this time in order to pull it into the mould. And yeah, it needs cleaning up at the minute. It does needs a bit of finishing off, but I'm really pleased with this. There's no sockets on it because they're going to be done after. I didn't want them in the cast because they become so fragile. So I may have 3D prints, as like what I did with the Dalek outside, or machined parts. Might be able to reach out to Tom and see if he can do that. But again, I'd have to give new measurements because mine is a lot different from the Imperials, as it is bigger. But yeah, that's just something I thought I'd show off, because it's big, as you can see by how close I am. I am sat on the bed. But I will be back on with this. I'm now focusing back on the Imperials rather than focusing on the filming stuff. But the Doctor Who stuff is still coming. It's just very slow at the minute because I've used all my money, basically all my money from my job, all that's gone, and savings account. So I need to now find something where I can actually make money from. But enough about that, that's not what this is about. This is about the Imperials and where I'm going. As I mentioned on my Facebook, I do a lot of stuff on there. There will be 3 of these for my special, because I've got a lot that I want to now do. I'm not focusing on other people's films now. I want to focus on my stuff, so I need to get a shift on with. I need to finish up the police box that I'm doing. The Daleks here, as you can see, and the special weapons, because I have the, I got the neck bin. Not the right size, it's slightly smaller, and it won't be in scale to this, but I have got that, so that's just a heads up for that. So I will be back on with owning 3 of these. Hopefully someone by this time has purchased the Black Dalek, because it is up for sale and I need to get rid of it because I just don't want it anymore. I'm moving on to other stuff. But yeah, I haven't even shown the other side. And there's my so much of a Dalek collection. But yeah, it does need finishing. I mean, it's pretty much finished, I keep saying that. The slats like this here will be covered up. Will be covered up with gold tint, so I don't have to go really smooth with them. Mine is slightly different in places, but I'm far more chuffed with this design because it is so much more accurate. I could point out all the other flaws with the Black Dalek. I keep calling it the Black Dalek now when it's Imp 1J. But this is so much more. It's not a replica, because I don't believe in such things as replicas. You can't recreate. You can make something look identical, but there's no such thing as replica, in my eyes anyway. But yeah, there's my. They've just been sat here for a long time. Honestly, these shoulders have just been. But that was because of Deader's Day that I were helping with, and then focusing on other stuff. But yeah, this is just a slight update of what's on the way. Got a brand new camera, as you can tell. I would do this on a tripod, but my room is really small, so there's no way to really work. But the main reason why I want to get this out of the way is so here I can then focus on back to having a desk. I can then make my room be a bit more of a studio of sorts, make it a bit more cleaned up. Because there is just parts, and it's more of a workshop than a bedroom. But it keeps the parts out of the rain and safe. If that was in the rain, it would have been messed up and basically no good. All my work would have been down the drain. And this is about 6 months on-off of work because of filling and sanding. When I had to print a mould of the slats, which is somewhere over there, and then took them out and then applied them to the body because they twist and turn on the Imperials, making sure the gun box was level. Doesn't look level at the minute, but that's because these 2 plates are actually tilted for some reason. It does its job anyway, it keeps it parallel more or less. But yeah, sanding up the belt, which was a lot of blocks of wood and then body filler, printing out the hexagon and then creating a mould of that, and then making a resin one and then applying it onto the fin while it was still warm. It honestly don't look like a lot of work, but it is a lot of work. All the sanding and filling, even if I could, you can see there's no wood grain, there's nothing. I've had to completely sand it up, make sure the belt was flush and level. And yeah, that is 6 months, and then it was cut off because of what happened. But I'm back on with it. I'm wanting to focus back on this Dalek than anything now, because I want to own. I've always loved the Imperials, and to finally own one a bit bigger than that, because I was really happy with Imp 1J. I really was, but then I wasn't the best Dalek builder, and I'm still not, but I wanted to get better fins. So with my new one, sharper angles on the skirt, which when I always did Daleks with mine, I always had a tendency of rounding over the edge, mainly to hide if, because I used to cut them with jigsaws. The jigsaw's not exactly straight, so you would get wobbly lines. And now I've got a proper saw, you know, to cut straight lines, so now I don't have that problem. The bumps on the old one are a little too small, but I had to do with what I had. I've now got a method for that. That's soldered. The plunger's soldered. Everything more or less like before. The dome lights, you know, eye stalk, it's all been 3D printed. It's all soldered. I've still got to make the gun, which is behind there. But yeah, to have a full fiberglass cast, which outside I've been working on the skirt, so the shoulder, the base and the skirt are now fused together. They're going to be one section. The shoulders with all that detailing, as you can see here, will be one section. The neck will be the same as the other Dalek, and the dome, you know, it's just your typical dome. And I'll have 3 of them, hopefully. Don't know how much they're going to cost. They're not going to cost as much as the Black Dalek, because he cost about £7 sort of thing. So sorting that out, yeah, sort of. What am I thinking? I'm forgetting. Yeah, he was £7 because I didn't know how to properly fiberglass. So it will be sorted, and I will have that. I don't know how much they're going to cost roughly. They're going to be more white this time, compared to what I was doing before. And yeah, there was a reason with it, and I'm going to close this off now, but there was a reason why I did the Imperial so small, and that was so he could fit up, it's a mess now, into that corner. He was, you know, situated, first he was situated about here, and then he was put over there. Got the remains of the TARDIS over there, a lot of parts, but yeah, it is a mess, because I need to get things sorted, I need to get things done. So yeah, that's the main reason. I want to get this done, out of the way, take a mould, and then have a fiberglass one. It's just when you've got other things going off and, you know, you're tired and everything from doing Daleks constantly. Been doing it 12 years now. Practicing, not building them. But yeah, that is roughly where I'm up to, and we'll hopefully have something like that. 3 Imperial Daleks and the Special Weapons Dalek I've seen there. And yeah, my favourite Daleks once again, owning them and more accurate. So yeah, Imp 1J was a test, I will guess, if anything. And then this will be, and maybe the Dalek that I might go to events in, proper Imperial. So yeah, don't know whoever's watched it to this far. I'm glad you can enjoy hearing my voice and going on about Daleks for so long, but there will be a lot happening soon. I'm just very tired today, and things not going quite to plan, but it'll all be sorted, and I'll be back on track with the Daleks and props. You'll be seeing probably more of the TARDIS coming up now because I'm focusing on that. And oh, and I didn't even mention the Paradigm Dalek is nearly done now. Been keeping it secret for a bit, but yeah, that's nearly done, and then we can get on with filming finally. So I'll see you all soon. I hope I haven't riled on. There hasn't really been much to show, but yeah, that's where I'm up to on the Imperial Daleks again. So today is Sunday. It's a very lazy Sunday today. Yeah, so I'm now in the kitchen. I brought the shoulders down. I did this by myself. I was shattered yesterday. So they've finally been brought down. I'm getting ready to mark out the sides. Because the, I don't know if I mentioned in the video, the idea of how this is going to be, it's going to be like my, when I made Imp 1J and his moulds are in there. I'm going to have one go around the front, that way we can capture the detail without having a seam here. But the thing is, when I do apply it, there'll be a flange there and a flange there. There'll also be, once I've applied a few coats over this way, I'll have to be quick because of the way silicone is. I'm then going to put some card here and then brush up silicone, not on both sides, one side first to act as a wall, then I'll peel that off and then apply this way, and then I'll have a flange this time because last time 2 things went wrong with the last mould. The top didn't have a plate on it, as with the bottom, so that kept it in line. The top, I forgot, I basically brushed over like that. So when it came to the mould, which you can't tell, and I have forgotten since then, but it just came back to me. The shoulders on Imperial J slightly pulled in at the back and at the front, so the top wasn't actually completely circular, which is a mistake I will fix on this one. Reason there's going to be a flange here as well as here, makes sense. That way it pulls it in place. Another thing is the front sort of sunk inwards because the mould didn't have anything to pull into its place. So there will be basically 4 flanges, but it'll be a 2 split mould. So one at the back and one at the front. It'll bolt on the sides. So like I say, I've got cardboard cut out the contour of the middle. More or less, it's a mess, but yeah. I've got it more or less finished. We'll hot glue it, tack it in place, and then fill the side. Maybe with something that's not gonna dry, so maybe plasticine or something, just so that I can scrape it out, clean it up, and then carry on the back. Last thing I want is to then try and get glue off. So yeah, just tacks. To tack it at the top and bottom, maybe a few tacks along the side, and then just plasticine to make sure silicone doesn't slip. It'll be given a first print coat. So last time when I did do the other shoulders as well, the other thing that I didn't do it like this. I'm taking inspiration from Becca Ware, from when she did hers, and this is basically what she did. She had it on a mounting plate, so I am copying exactly what she did. She did it colour coded so that it became easier, so it's going to be like hers. For anyone who's on Project Dalek who's following along, so I am following her method. Don't know if I'm going to have keys. I might. I mean, I've got the ice cube tray, which is what I used for mine. I might as well. Might be like one here, one there, you know. It should lock around anyway because of the gum box when the fiberglass fin. So I mean, that's the back. So yeah, that's the shoulders so far. We started with the camera when you first finished. This is the neck so far. Bloody bow leg to try and figure out. It is a lot bigger. The more I look at it, I am looking forward to it. But yeah, this is the neck section so far. I could have angled these, but I couldn't be bothered. I think to the plans as well, they were straight. They didn't have a notch at the top, so when the dome comes down, you won't be able to see how far they go up. It'll look like they go all the way to the top. I've started gel coat in certain areas here where it's a bit rough. That's from when I applied tape. I've only got 4 of them glued on at the minute. Left them overnight. I glued them with Gorilla epoxy, and these were made from a mould. I made 1 and then made a silicone mould, and I've made 8, well 9. I've got 1 spare just in case. And yeah, and then they got glued on, taped, left overnight. And the way I did it, the way I found, originally I drew on the top, but because this top's a little uneven, it's not completely flat because I'm not really going for, the plate is, but this MDF hardboard, just, you know, I'm making it as best I can. Because there's no need to go over the top with this, with engineering. So I then drew out on the bottom plate, which then got screwed. I drew out 8 sections equally. I basically did a cross at first, and then I found a distance between each one, which was about 22.5. This is not correct, by the way, before anyone was just going scribbling down measurements. This is my Dalek. This is bigger than the actual plans, so don't think I'm revealing any plan measurements. But my distance for the bottom one was, yeah, 22.5. I then marked in between, then found my 8 points, and then to apply them, I then got a square. Then I made sure it on the plate it was vertical, just drew a line, and yeah, and then just like dot to dot, just made sure they were in the right place as I glued them down, taped them, and hopefully that is right. I think it's more or less what I did with the last Dalek, and that went alright, so this is going great. So another thing is a seam. This bin had been left up in my room for about the same time as that, and which you can see in the skirt under there, about 5 months. Yeah, 5 months I think. And what I did was, because this was bowing out because of it being wood, you know, wood doesn't like to bend into place when you first apply it. There's no bit of wood here for it to screw in. It was my fault because of the way I built it. It will be filled, but I applied some timber screwed in at the top and bottom, and then when I pulled it yesterday, it stayed in place. So all that 5 months of keeping the wood in place, all that pressure has worked out for it. So yeah, I've got to fill that up. I think that's going to be the back. I mean, you're not going to see it anyway, it's like that other Dalek. It'll just be a fiberglass cast with the struts moulded into it, just to make it easier on my half. I think the rings this time will be timber, just to save them time. It's going to be costly again, but it shouldn't be too hard. It's only 3 rings, now that I've got the measurements and everything. But yeah, but they'll be applied like this with gel coat anyway, so it'll be saved. And yeah, that's so far my neck bin, the shoulders. I'm really proud of this Dalek. I think this will be it then for Imperial Daleks for a long time for me. It'll be, yeah, this will be it then for me. I'll be more or less happy. I'm still trying to get rid of him. I'm really hoping there's someone who wants to buy him because I just need the space. He's lasting, you know, he's a Dalek that's lasting in the weather. He's been out here for a year compared to the Angel or the Paradigm Dalek, and that still needs sorting. I don't know if you can see, might as well give it a try. But if we can zoom, come on, faster. Can you see what's over there? Yes. Don't know why it's going slow, but yeah. And the Paradigm Dalek's down at the bottom. Still working on him. Can I zoom out faster? No, I can't. I'm still new to the camera, so... Oh, now it's zooming out, right. Yeah. Technical difficulties, please. Please bear with, I am still new. Right, so yeah. So that is where I'm up to at the minute. With the build. As you can tell with the weather, it's not exactly great, so I can't really do anything, and it is a lazy Sunday today. I am in like lazy clothes, as my clothes are in the washer and I need to change them. I need to put them on the radiator. So yeah, that is where I am up to at the minute. It's a slow progress, but I'm back on with the Imperial, and I will see you all soon.